Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the Meant to Bloom podcast. Today, I really want to talk about what to do, not just when you're overwhelmed, but when you've already hit burnout and you feel like it's just too late to turn around. Like everything feels like it sucks right now. You might even be like in a depressive episode and you're like, I just don't know how to grow out of this. All right, so I talk a lot about practical tips on the healing journey, right? But I often neglect returning to those early feelings when depression was still my identity. And I rarely go back that way and give you advice for when you're in that painful season. So today I really wanted to talk about that. All right, so I wanted to talk to the mom that's actually depressed and burnt out right now. All right, the mom who thinks everything sucks, the mom who can't imagine doing any more than she's already doing right now. Like, yes, total survival mode, that woman. Okay, so save this episode if that's not you right now, but you know it might be someday. Come on back to it. All right, I want to be talking to the one who's not even sure that she's going to make it through motherhood. That's the feeling we're digging into today. Okay, and I want to give you practical tips for climbing out of that pit. You know, I want to give you some of those easy practical tips that you can do right now to ease that pain and begin taking steps into the right direction without adding a ton to your plate, you know, even though you have zero motivation to do this. You have enough motivation to be here listening to me today. You know I'm here to talk about personal growth and development. That's what we do. All right, so number one, I'm going to say grace. Give yourself grace for where you are right now. All right, it's okay to not be okay for now. We don't want to stay there, obviously, but it's okay to be there for a little while where it's just not feeling okay. That's okay for a bit. All right, don't cling to the emotions, but go ahead and feel them. Go ahead and process them. Go ahead and lean into those and explore them. Be curious. Don't be shaming yourself. All right? Go and explore the feelings you're feeling. Why do you feel like everything sucks? Lean into it and just experience what you're experiencing right now and give yourself permission to experience what you're experiencing right now and know that you won't be there forever. All right? Let yourself feel the feelings as long as you need to, but don't stay there longer than you have to, if that makes sense to you. Yeah? All right, number two, this goes along with that. Journal. Write down what you're feeling. Write down what you're thinking and just go with it. Just keep writing as a stream of consciousness. I find this to be super helpful for me. Is like just set a timer for 5 minutes and write down everything that you're feeling inside of you. Just let it be like a brain dump, not of to-do list tasks. I mean, if that's all you can think of, sure. But let it just be a brain dump of like a body dump. Everything you're feeling inside your whole body, write it down. Get it out of you so you can see it on paper. Like, let it be a mess. You feel like you're a mess right now, that's fine. That should show through on the paper. It's art. It's beautiful. It's poetry. Even though you think it's just this absolute heap of stink, like someday you might look back on that and see it through a different lens. Okay, number three, I want you to breathe. Shouldn't have to tell you to breathe, but I do. All right, real breaths, not shallow, real deep breaths, okay? Focus on your breath for a little while. When you were just feeling like, I don't even want to be alive, just keep breathing, okay? One breath at a time. All right, try to let everything else just slip away. All the thoughts, all the feelings, and just focus on your breath, okay? This is actually like a form of meditation. And just breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2. Breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2. All right, and just keep repeating that in that pattern. A nice deep breath and out. And just keep going through that and just focus on the breath. Every time a thought comes through, don't think, oh, I'm not supposed to be thinking things. Just let it come in and let it go out. Don't hold it. you know? Just focus on the breath. Keep coming back to the breath. It's something you might want to set a timer for too, 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't take long. You can do this every night before you fall asleep, to relax, take a bath, whatever. Like, breathing is so important. Number 4, I want you to accept help. Okay? Let your loved ones step in and care for your home and your kids while you take care of yourself. All right, this one can be hard. Bless me. It shouldn't be that hard to just ask for help, but I know it is, because from personal experience, it is so hard to ask for help. And I have a whole episode 15, go back and listen, with Elizabeth from Emotionally Healthy Legacy, and we'll talk you through overcoming that guilt of asking for help and some simple practical tips on how to incorporate help into your life. Okay? But this is the best thing you can do for your kids, is to not keep burning yourself out, but to set an example for how to care for yourself, how to accept help in your life. Because I can speak from experience. My dad never accepted help. And I struggle with that now, because that's what I saw growing up, is I can do it myself. If dad can do it himself, I can do it myself. I don't need help. It's fine. I got this. I got this. Let me even help you while I'm doing everything myself too. That's not healthy. Okay? It seems incredibly helpful, but it's not. It is actually more helpful to accept help from other people. It builds community. It builds relationships to accept help from others. And then you get to help them later. Like, it's all a give and take. It's community, it's relationships, it's friendships, it's family. Accept the dang help. Okay? Now, number 5 is surround yourself with positive influences. Okay? At like a bare minimum, even if you feel like doing nothing at all, just shift everything around you to a more positive option, right? So it's kind of like your diet, like you are what you eat. You are what you think, what you perceive, you know? What you put in is what you're going to get out. So surround yourself with positive influences. And I'm not talking like cut out all the toxic people in your life right now when you're, you know, in a depressive episode or you're totally burnt out. That's not really the time to start doing something like that. I'm talking like listen to more positive podcasts or, you know, self-development kind of audiobooks. Not even if it's self-development, even if it's fiction. Just make sure it's positive and not something that's like dark and gloomy and dwelling on the negative. Stay away from that kind of stuff when you're feeling so vulnerable, you know? Listen to some positive music. Don't listen to the sad, everything sucks music. Stop listening to the emo tracks of your high school days and listen to the upbeat, sugary pop stuff that just makes you feel light inside. Watch more positive movies and positive TV shows. Surround yourself with positive influences so that at least what you're putting in is positive. And that'll help change what's coming back out. Okay, number 6, moving on down this list, number 6 is I want you to go back and listen to episode 11 of this podcast, okay? And that one is all about overcoming your stress by overcoming your negative thinking, okay? I want you to take the power away from the negative thoughts. I want you to stop being comfortable with thinking all that negative stuff. Everything about you, you know, you can go ahead and even get the self-care or the self-love starter kit. Start really digging in. That is a whole workbook guide to help you dig through your negative thoughts and really think about what you're thinking about yourself, because you lose a lot of power when you start to think less of yourself instead of noticing who you are and what responsibilities you actually hold. What is your role in life? And it's probably bigger than you think, and it impacts a lot more people than you might realize. Like, you're kind of a big deal, and it's really important that you take care of yourself and that you love yourself so that you can show up for other people. Like, it's not about you. And dwelling on all those negative thoughts about yourself makes it very much about you. And I know you might not want to hear that right now, but that's what I had to hear. That's what I had to overcome. That's what I'd realize, is that Most of my problems in all of my relationships dwelled from the fact that I felt unworthy of the relationship and would sabotage it, thus making everyone else think that I'm awful, thinking that there's something wrong with them because I'm not being so nice. And it was just me thinking that they didn't want anything to do with me. Me thinking they deserved better than me. And when I stopped thinking about myself and started thinking about them, wow, that started changing things. But right now, you can just go back, listen to that episode, start getting aware of your negative thoughts, start overcoming the negative thoughts, right? Keep it simple right now. When you're, burnt out, you don't have a lot to give right now, your cup is empty, it's okay. Just listen to the episode, think about it. All right. Number 7, I want you to allow yourself space for comfort. Allow space for comfort. Okay, we deprive ourselves far too often. I want you to go ahead and lean into comfortable things. And I don't mean comfortable as in staying in the rut you're in, because I know you can get comfortable being burnt out. You can get comfortable with the negative thoughts. You can get comfortable in depression because it's just what you're familiar with. I don't want you to be comfortable with that, but I want you to surround yourself with other healthier forms of comfort, like watching your comfort movies, reading your comfort books. Like, I don't care if it's a teen vampire novel that you read in high school. If it's your comfort book, bust it out, no shame, read it. Get cozy in your softest blanket and eat the food that fills you with joy and makes you feel good. We don't need to add digestive issues on top of what you're going through emotionally right now, but you know what I mean here, right? Share this time with your kids and your husband too if you're up for company. Bring them into comfort with you. All right, and 8, I want you to get empowered. Okay, remember who you are. Brace yourself, okay? Brace yourself here. All right, put on your big girl pants when you're ready and get back at it, right? It's never too late to get back on track, okay? I want you to find empowerment after you've felt comfortable, after you've realized what you've been thinking about yourself is totally false, after, you've kind of felt what you needed to feel and you've experienced this whole thing and you've learned something from this. Then I want you to put on those big girl pants, get back on track. It's never too late to take charge of your life, and it's never too late to be everything you've ever wished to be. All right? I want you to get empowered. I want you to realize who you are. I want you to take your power back. I want you to step up and just smash it. Girl, you can do this. You can. When you're ready, take the time you need. Don't feel guilty about taking time to just stick in that rut that you're in, that you're there for a reason. You need to feel something. You need to learn something. You're buried seed, you might need to be buried under some crap. But I want you to know, I want you to get empowered after this. Don't stay there. Don't be a dormant little seed that just is a bust, You know what I mean? You ever plant seeds that just nothing ever happens? It just stays there. Don't slowly decompose under the ground, You got to bust it open. And I want you to grow. I want you to thrive. I want you to bloom. I want to see you come out the other side of this big and beautiful and lush and just everything you've ever been meant to be. All right? Take your time getting there. It's okay. You might need to winter first. And that's okay to winter. There's actually a great book called Wintering by Catherine May. Right now might be a great time for you to go read that. It's all about just kind of taking your time, taking it slow, just slowing down life and saying no to everything so that you can care for yourself in this season. And then you can come out of it, You can come out of it, you can grow, you can be more because you've stepped back and you wintered, All right, number 9 is see a therapist. It's so easy to get help mentally. I am not a therapist. I'm not a licensed physician or therapist or anything like that, a licensed counselor. Nope, not at all. I'm simply a mom who's experienced it all, and I want to share everything I've ever learned on these topics. Because I also know, being the stubborn woman I am, how so many moms will not see a therapist because we put ourselves last and we think, let me just push myself until I can't go any farther and then I'll see a therapist, right? You don't need to do that. Get a therapist. If you aren't struggling with mental health, but you keep burning out again and again and again, and you're just in these bad habits, a life coach can be an amazing solution. If I'm not a good fit for you, I know a lot of mom coaches. I'm happy to help you find your perfect fit mom coach. I know some mom stress coaches. I know some mom mentors. I know some like mom coaches who help you like launch a business if that's like what keeps burning you out, to simplifying business, like whatever. Like, I know people. I got connections. Don't be afraid to ask and be like, I really want to get a life coach, but I'm not sure if you're right for me because I don't totally vibe with you. It's fine. I'm not offended if I don't vibe with you. I'm not here for everybody. But I do want you to take the steps you need to take. So whether that's getting a life coach, a mom coach, whatever, or seeing a therapist, it's so easy to see one now. I mean, I know waits for in-person are super long if they're even doing in-person around you right now. But like, if you are struggling with depression and it's more than just burnout, if it just feels so out of control for you, or you're even having suicidal thoughts, I've been there. Don't be ashamed of it. It happens. They come, they go. Sometimes we dwell on them. Sometimes we let them grow. It's okay. Like, don't feel bad about it. Just get help when you need the help. Don't feel bad about getting help either. Like, just do it. It's okay. But there's so many great resources today. Like if you're having suicidal thoughts, just 911 or 988 if you're in mental crisis. That's like the new like emergency line for suicidal thoughts and ideations and whatever. Reach out to BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com can match you with a licensed therapist, and you just email back and forth. You do Zoom meetups and whatever. Like, it's way easy. A lot of churches have counselors on staff. There's even churches, I think, that have like licensed therapists on staff. So if like money's an issue and you just need to like talk to somebody who understands, and especially if you're in the religion side of things and you want someone who's going to be aligned with what you believe, reach out to churches in your area. Like, it doesn't even have to be your church. You don't even have to go to the church. They are happy to help people. So find help when you need help. It's okay. Ask for help. All right. And number 10, if you're not ready to ask for help, but you know you need some more, I have linked my free guide. I don't talk about it a whole lot. I always mention it, but this is the Happy Mom Mindset Makeover, and it's just going to get you started thinking about the way you think. It's going to help you start the process of diving deep. It's not really hard. It's not really elaborate. It's mostly just a few questions to get the juices flowing and get you started. So if you're really feeling like you don't want to do a lot, but you need something to motivate you a little bit, this is a really, really great guide. And it's totally free. Like, just give me your email address and I'll send it to you. Totally free. So, I mean, even if you think you might not get anything out of it, just get it. Like, just to have. Like, look at it, see if it's your vibe and whatever. But go ahead. It's always a great time to set an intention and prepare for action. Even if you don't have the motivation right now, it's still a good time to know where you're going to want to go once you start to feel better, right? So you got this, mama. That is 10 things you can do right now if you're feeling totally burnt out and just unmotivated. And lean into the comfort, lean into the friends, lean into family. Get help, ask for help, accept the help in anywhere that you need it, whether it's mentally, whether it's in your home, whether it's like, hey, can I just get someone else to like deliver my groceries? Use Instacart. Make things easy and stop pushing yourself to do all the things that you do not want to do. And I really should have added it in here. I know you probably don't feel like it right now if you're totally burnt out and everything, but gratitude. Go deep on gratitude. If you want my gratitude guide, I can get that to you. That's on Etsy in my Etsy shop, and I'll link that here. Like, that's a simple, easy thing too. It's pretty quick. It's pretty small, but it'll guide you through how to go a little bit deeper in your gratitude instead of just like, oh, well, I'm grateful for this today. Like, I don't know. I usually don't feel it, especially if you're like in a depressive episode. It can be really hard to actually feel the gratitude. So that's your little bonus tip, is get deep into the gratitude. Like, sometimes you have to envision what would life be like without the thing. And write that down. Like, if you're thinking like, okay, well, I'm grateful for my house, I guess. What would it look like if you didn't have a house? What would your life be? Really go into that. And then come back to it and say, well, how is my life better for having the house? Now you have a fresh perspective, fresh eyes. You're going to notice more than you noticed before. And that's kind of the whole point. Do that with everything you're grateful for, is imagine life without it. And then you can go a little bit deeper into, wow, I am really grateful I have this. Now I feel something. And sometimes it takes practice. It takes a few times to do this before you start to feel grateful and gratitude and thankful, and just to notice the blessings in your life. It takes some time, but it's totally worth it to shift your mindset out of, scarcity into abundance, going from burdens to blessings. And instead of seeing everything that's wrong in your days and your life and your home and in your family and, with yourself, get grateful about it and like focus on all of the good things. And like, it's kind of like your vision of them grows, and the small things become, or the bad negative stuff becomes like smaller in your brain, and the good stuff becomes bigger. And it's totally worth the time it takes to do that. And it doesn't take a lot of time. I mean, just every day build this practice of trying to think of the good things, and it will pay off. You will start to see the good when you look for it. Seek and you will find. All right, keep going, mama. Keep growing. I'm here for you. Reach out, email me, hello@brittanyclarkson.com. I'm happy to chat.